All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Friday, July 26, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Anyways, let's get into it today. So kind of from what I can see, mostly a pin job. Definitely a little bit of a weird day. So we had PCE this morning, and really a nothing burger. I said kind of early on that this is not really the price action that bulls want. So we gapped up in the futures. First red flag right there. Never filled the gap. I never like that when the futures do that. But this was our PCE reaction right here. Very soft, very muted. It was mostly in line for the most part. There was a lot of ado made about savings rate and stuff like that, but we don't really care. We just care about the market's reaction. And for me, if you're going to gap higher and put in a low, you need to wipe the bears out, right? So it needs to be like a gap and go immediately, right? So you need to just wipe them out. Because usually you want the bottom to be on a gap down, or if it gaps up, then you want it to roll over, spike the low, and then come back up, right? You don't want, like, this was just not good action here, especially even during regular trading hours. We were just pinned, and I still think we're pinned. I was actually just saying to members a few minutes ago, good rejection here, but I think they're probably going to tease the downside, and then they'll kind of pin us to, I don't know, let's say 54.50. So that's kind of exactly where I'm expecting us to close here today. And you can see the GEX clear as day right there. So it's been there all day too. Why do I say that? Because you dumped into the afternoon the last 2 days, and every piker in the business right now is probably right here. They're like, oh, bear flag. They're all jumping on short, thinking that they're going to get this big 50-point score. And then they pull the rug here and they pop it back up. I think we'll just close around 50, maybe 40. I could see. There was some GEX there at one point, and it has been a little bit of a pivot point here. So I don't really think of much consequence right now. I still think bottom line, big picture, immediate short term path of least resistance is lower, meaning bears are in control here. We've made a lower low. We rejected here before we even got to full resistance. We'd have a little higher low, and then we made a lower high. So bears are stepping in, and they are in control. However, I do think the bigger move here, like the next 200, 300 points, is going to come on the long side. So in the short term, I think they're obviously still in control, but I think risk favors the upside. A couple of reasons for that too is not only are we into support, and did the semis hit support and hold, they held that level very much today. But we also have a lot of event volatility baked into the cake for next week. What do I mean by that? We got Apple earnings, we got other big tech names reporting, and we have the big FOMC on Wednesday. So there are downside hedges, lots of them in place for next week. And if we get a headline over the weekend, we start gapping down, we start selling, you're going to have a lot of downside priced in to those events. So I think it's going to be very hard for the market to go too much lower from here. And, we're already into some support levels, and we're just off of some support levels too. So a lot of areas down here. Again, the Qs, if we take a look here, this trend line, it held. But, even if we do slice it, you got the previous all-time high right below there. So that's a big level. And SPX, 53.50 and then 53.25, big levels down here. So my guess is this is just a weak low here, and it's going to need to get sliced at some point, even if it's only by 10 points. If that's enough to suck in shorts and take us higher, that's it. But I just don't see that. I've never seen a market bottom like this before. So that's my take on it right now. Past that is anybody's guess here, but I do think that the next kind of play here is some type of a buy the dip. It's just a matter of how that's going to formulate here. Anyways, so market's stuck at 54.50. We'll revisit that in a little bit. Qs, again, holding the trend line. And there is some support just below that too. By the way, just to show you here, ES, pretty clear hit of that trend line as well. Good bounce off of that, just in case you guys want a different look there. IWM, again, continues to be strong. This was up 2% at one point today. So pretty remarkable here. Very incredible price action and amazing amounts of dispersion in this market here. Dow up 1.5. Again, held the 20 moving average and got a bid. SMH, you guys know, I think that even if the spiders make a new low, I don't think the SMH goes much past 230 right now. I just think there's too much support down there. Same thing with the SOX. IGV continues to be strong. So again, up 1%. It is off the highs, but you know, it's holding up pretty nicely, and it held the gains, you know, yesterday, whereas the rest of the market could not. So I think IGV is still a strong sector inside of technology. Speaking of, I don't talk about that much, but biotech up another 63 cents today inside of technology. Dow Transports, yeah, another nice move, up 1.5. So we touched 16 today. Now look at this, we've erased that sell. So weekly transports are green on the week. So we can talk about recession all you want, but that doesn't mean you can make money. Even if we go into recession, it doesn't mean you make money fading these plays. So, all right, anyway, let's get over here to interest rates. There's my day trading chart here on SPY. Let's take a look at the 2-year, if we can get it to come up. There we go. So 2-year, again, got a little tail candle low yesterday, but it is coming down. It's now in a daily downtrend. There is some support down here. You have a big zone, but I would just say give it down to about 4.2 here is your next level. I think we talked about that, and then 4.1. Fives, again, kind of bear flagging here. This probably wants 395. 10s, a little bit on the weaker side, starting to roll over now. So we could be looking at, 4% in the not too distant future. I don't think the long end is going to go that much lower, as you guys know. But, at face value in the near term, they are pulling back here. The 30-year is still easily the firmest. So I don't even know if that can go past these lows here on this particular leg right now. And we'll see. All right, XHB, again, continues to be strong, up 3.25. That's a new all-time high, new all-time closing high, daily, weekly, monthly. Very strong sector. VNQ, 1.75% gain. And this is now starting to shape up here. Again, we could make a case. We have another pattern like this. We're starting to keep that on watch there. We talked about this a few weeks ago. I want to talk about XLP again. I missed the boat here. I had a chance to buy this inside bar. It had a really nice breakout here. I think this is setting up again here too. This is another sector I've definitely got on watch, and that's threatening to get back to all-time highs. Speaking of another sector too, XLV, that is at all-time highs, or just off of them now. I don't cover those sectors that often, but they are acting well. XLU also. So just a few other extra charts here. XLF, again, up 1.5, still very strong. KRE, till these guys stop shorting, it's going to keep going up. 1.5 gains, new 52-week highs. KBE, 1.5 gain, new 52-week highs. Keep trying to hit those home runs. I'm just going to keep paying people to be long. All right, broker-dealers fractionally lower. New all-time high, new all-time closing high, new all-time weekly. Oil in a really messy range here. Look at this price action over the last 4 days. Big whipsaw here. A lot of noise. I have not touched oil. I touched it earlier this week for a scalp, but that's it. I think this wants to go lower. So I would be careful with oil here. I do like XLE though. I love those higher lows. We've talked about the weekly and monthly. And the same thing with XOP and OIH. OIH very strong today. Uranium here via CCJ up 1.4. That still has a head and shoulder target in play down to about 39, so just be aware of that. URNM getting a little bounce here, but that has a failure on the weekly, and so does the NJ now. So anything not named CCJ, I'll be careful with in this space. A little oversold here, though, so it probably does need a back test. Nat gas, bottom falling out of that. So one little hit here, retrace, and another low. Could be a divergent low. Seasonally, it's starting to set up here. Yeah, it is a little divergent low there. And it's seasonally, this is kind of where it starts to bottom out, but definitely on the weaker side, I haven't done anything with this recently. Dollar index still working on that up move and sideways. So I'm thinking kind of a zigzag here, maybe towards 104.80, 105, but I have not really played around with the dollar much lately. I think dollar yen was, basically flat to lower today. Gold here with a little bounce. That's a contract roll. It's not actually up that much. If you look at GLD, for instance, it's up 1%. Whereas gold futures, so at 1.25. So it's getting a 0.25% buffer on the gap, which should get adjusted Monday when it gets fixed. But good bid nonetheless. Gold up okay. GDX up a little bit too. I still think these have a little bit more time. Silver on the softer side. Again, recession, industrial demand. Silver's going to do a little bit worse if that's the narrative. But it was flat today. Nothing really terrible with it. And SIL up fractionally. Platinum getting a bounce at 940. There should be support there. Some support. I haven't stepped in front of it, but it's maybe getting attractive now. And then palladium here down a little over 1%. Copper here holding the 200. We'll see if it gets going here. I have some ideas of what it could do. There's a couple levels a little bit lower on this, but sometimes the 200 moving average is tricky because everybody tries to buy it. And sometimes it works, but sometimes it gets flushed as well. But it is definitely very attractive down here, nonetheless. I don't think it's going to have much lower on this leg. Bitcoin, very good price action. So remember it dipped yesterday and then came back and boom, right back up. So Bitcoin still acting really well. ETH, nice reversal, but we did fail that inside bar. So I'd be careful with ETH. But weekly, still strong, no problems here. My guess is though, if it tries to break out, it's not going to last very long. I think it needs more monthly consolidation, but the pattern is really good, and it's setting up for a massive breakout when it happens. But short term, very good, very strong. It's holding up well. So markets close in about 15, 20 minutes here, and we're just stuck. So again, I don't really see us doing much here. We're at 54.57 right now. I don't really see us getting, too away from that. Yeah, we can see. So I would just say between 40 and 60 here. If we, 60 on the positive side, 40 on the low side if we come down. I'm not surprised that we're not dumping here. Like I said, everybody saw this bear flag, and they saw us dump the last 2 days in a row. So I bet a lot of retail jumped in here and started shorting. And that's where they're just going to burn the premium out. And that's what I think today is, this big premium burn. We'll get the big decision next week. That said, again, immediate short-term bears still maintain control. But I don't think that downside is that rewarding here at this point. Best thing bears can hope for was some type of bear flag type action. But even then, there's a lot of event volatility baked in for next week. So we'll be watching it as we get there, obviously. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all next week.